Alright, I'm going to do a video on doing a hat with no pattern, which in my trendy group, for those of you that are in there, you know I start my hats from my bottom and work my way up. I don't use a pattern, I make a band to fit my head. So on this one, I did a half double crochet foundation chain, and then I put it around my head to make sure it fits, and then once I join it, I put it on my head, and that, as long as it fits, I'm good. So now I can start working my hat. I'm using 2 strands, and I'm playing with 2 strands tonight because I just want to see how it works up. So I did 2 strands of brown, and then I switched over to blend the yellow and the brown together. So on my next row up after this little band, I added a few extra stitches in here, which actually opens up the hat a little bit so it's not really tight to the head. And I always do that with my hat, and it depends on what stitches I'm using, how many I add. And I think I might have added 2 or 3 extra stitches along this just to give my hat a little fluff around the edge. So I did a half double crochet on this next stitch up, and then I did a half double crochet in the back loop only, which gave me a little bit of a ridge. And then I worked 2 rows of front post, back post, half double crochet. And then I did a half double crochet in the back loop only twice, and then 2 rows of front post, back post, half double crochet, and then 2 rows of half double crochet in the back post only. And I just keep working that up. As I'm getting towards the top, a lot of people don't know how to close a hat, so I always say it's not about how many decreases you do. You want to watch the shape of your hat. I start decreasing probably around here, and I randomly decrease. The goal is to get this hole smaller. And as long as your hat's not starting to point, you're okay. So decrease, say you wanted to decrease every 6 stitches, and then do 6, and then decrease 1, and then do 6 more. So every 6 stitches, and then the next row up do 5. You could do it that way, and I do it randomly. I don't have any rhyme or reason to how I close my hats. My goal, as you can see, is just starting to get smaller as I go towards the top. And then as I get up here, I'm going to start decreasing more together. So I'll probably do like 3 and then decrease, and then 3 and then decrease. But the one thing you've got to watch for is if your hat starts to point, you've decreased too much, stop and just leave a long tail, and then turn your head inside out, and then you just take your needle and thread, needle in your tail, and just go around your stitches at the top. And then you're going to pull it tight, and it'll gather the top for you so you can close that in. So just watch for that point. You want it to be uniform. You want it to kind of go up and curve up a little bit, but it'll start to point up, and that's when you know you've gone too far. So anyway, this is I always leave this piece open, this piece down here, not sewn, which is my original join, because that always tells me where I'm working and where my center of my hat is and where my join is. So if I ever wonder where I'm at, I've always got this to give me a guide. So I'm going to close the top of the hat, and I think this one might get a pom-pom, but we'll see. If you guys want to go check out the trendy group, it's Crochet Trendy Hats on Facebook.